First game breaks, no games, you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our leading our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win in. First year again, here for the first May. Carry my team down 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me? Yes, all right.
Tony Swanson says, SJD, will you ever go back on the Talkin VAWLS network?
Ooh, I like Talkin VAWLS. I think that's Boogie Bentley running the show over there, man. That's he's awesome at what he does. We actually were trying to get on his show during their stream for charity. Ended up not happening just by nature of the schedules conflicting. But yeah, absolutely, we'll make that happen here in the near future. Boogie does an awesome job, and they do an awesome job over there on that platform. So yeah, without question, without question.
Good Friday evening. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley, joined by Coach Jay, as I always am. He's my ride or die. He's my wingman. We got a fun one tonight, Coach. You know, we're batting 1,000. We're batting 1,000. There's nothing that makes me happier than, number one, landing commits, and number two, talking to commits. So we got a fun show. We got 4-star interior offensive lineman Antoni Ogumoro coming up in just a moment. We're going to get him on here, hang out, and talk a little recruiting. We're gonna dig deep. Coach Jay, we've been having ourselves a little geography lesson in the back room, haven't we? We've been trying to educate ourselves.
A little bit, yeah. No, a little bit, man. Beautiful looking place, Saipan. I actually just read that it has the most consistent temperature on Earth. So you learn something new every day. And yeah, looking beautiful, consistently nice temperature. Man,
you looking to move?
I don't want to go to Saipan.
Oh, Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's roll.
Talking Balls live on the road. Let's do it.
There we
hey,
go.
let's hang out.
Go.
Smash the thumbs up for us. Let's grow this thing. Share the link out. Let people know where to come hang out. I love these player interviews. We try not to be the same old song and dance of tell me about this, tell me about your visit, tell me about this. And we're going to do a little of that, but we like to get to know the person and more specifically the family. Mom's going to hang out with us tonight. That's going to be a good time. I told my wife that and she said, that is a fun perspective because we have the conversations all the time. I look at my wife, we're talking about certain commits or recruits that come on the show, and I'm like, what would you do if this was our child in this situation? So that's going to be fun. Shane Mountain's in the house, says, let's do it. Welcome to the Real UT. Black Metal Banjo is here. Said, so excited to welcome this young man to Rocky Top. Pops is in the chat. I thought he was going to be joining us, but he's hanging out in the chat. Says, appreciate you for having him on this evening. It's good to see him in the chat. Memphis Ball is here. Tony Canada is hanging out. Rebecca says, welcome to Rocky Top. Anthony, Mrs. Coach J is here as she always is. Got a couple of super chats real quick and then we're going to get rolling. Black Metal Banjo for 2 says Dorfy. Appreciate the super chat. My friend Dylan for 5 says Door, 2 commits in 2 days. Welcome Anthony and Chaz Lanier. The basketball team just landed a big commitment via the transfer portal. Robert Tuck for 2. Welcome home. That's what this is. It's home. Welcome to the family. Welcome home, young man. Glad to have you at UT. John Watts drops a 20 spot. Coach, it's an Orange Boy. I feel a little embarrassing, but we're going to do it. We're going to play the clip. We got something to do. We got to do it.
Rocky Top!
John for 20 says, GBO, welcome, Anthony. All right, without further ado, let's actually welcome Anthony to the show, and let's get rolling. Tennessee's newest commit, Antoni Ogumoro. Welcome to the show, my man.
Hello. Appreciate you.
Hi. I like that you guys are coming on here together. Like I said, I told my wife you guys were sitting in the back room. You heard it. It's an interesting perspective. I want to pick Mom's brain. Anthony, we want to pick your brain, and I'm going to do my best. Your dad got on me. He said, Boogie, that's not how you say his name, son. I said, okay, I'll do better, Pops. I will do better. I will do my best, but I'm just going to call Mom, because that's what we're going to do around here. But let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about you, because, again, we were having a little geography lesson. You're a busy man. You just wrapped up your spring scrimmage today. Tomorrow, you're off to the islands, Saipan. You said we saw you're going to be visiting with family and also going to be participating in the Micronesian games where you're going to be playing basketball. So let's kind of just start there. Were you born in Saipan, grow up in Saipan, mom and dad from Saipan? What's the background? What's the story?
Yeah, my parents, they're from Saipan. I was born in Oceanside, California, because my dad, he's military, so we move around a lot. But I got a lot of family back there, so that's where we're all from.
I like it. Coach Jay's actually coaches a little football out in California. And by the way, shout out to your pops for being a military man. And I don't say this to pat myself on the back or Coach Jay on the back. We do a charity stream here every year for the Fisher House Foundation. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, like a Ronald McDonald House for the military. This community, not me, not Coach Jay, all these people in the chat, VolQuest, Go Vols 247, Pancakes and Bacon, a lot of Tennessee media came to this channel. We raised $10,000 for the Fisher House Foundation.
Wow,
so this community, and again, that's not about me and Coach Jay. It's about these people in the chat. They love and support our military. Rocky Top Tom for 5 says, welcome, Anthony and Mom. Glad to have you in Knoxville. Thank you, Dad, for the service. I would piggyback on that. So move around a lot, and that's something, I kind of wanted to talk about too. You show up in White Oak High School in North Carolina as a hooper, as a basketball player. 1 year in, you switch over to football on the defensive line. The next year, there's so many layers. I told Coach, I want to talk all night. You added 60 pounds of weight and moved the offensive line. Talk through that transition of basketball to football on the D line to adding weight to the offensive line.
Yeah. So when I first got there, I was homeschooled before all of that. So my mom and dad, they kind of just talked to me before my freshman year, and they're like, do you want to play basketball? What do you want to do? Or do you want to just stay homeschooled? And I said I wanted to go to the high school off base so I can play basketball over there and actually not be homeschooled to meet some people. So they got that done for me. My freshman year, I was like 6'4", 190, 200 pounds. So I was playing like power forward, center, some center. And then the football head coach, he always tried to get me to play ball, but my mom never let me. She was like, no, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want none of that. So after my freshman season, I talked to her, like we talked to her as a family because I played AAU ball too. I played for Team United in the UIBL circuit. But after that, I kind of told my mom, I was like, let me just try it because the coach said he thinks my footwork can translate over to the field and everything. And just let me try a defense first. So we convinced her finally my sophomore year, and he let me play, or she let me play. And my first year, I did okay. And then after that, I kind of told the coach, like, oh, yeah, I'll try it again. And he's like, yeah, but I want you to play offensive line this time. But I won't throw everything at you right away because offense is a lot, like understanding the fronts, like, yeah, all these different reads, everything. So he's like, we're going to go slowly, but just put some weight on and hit the weight room, son. So I was like, okay. So I kind of just grinded it out with him the whole summer. Was in the weight room eating good, and then I went from like 210, and right before the season started, I was like 274 or something like that, and then by the end of my junior season, I was 290.
Mm, awesome. So I got a piggyback question on that for mom. So
Hmm.
that first year of football was that hard? Were you nervous out there watching him in pads, or were you once you saw him kind of hit someone and see that he could hold his own? Did you feel better about it, or walk us through that a little bit?
I mean, I was kind of nervous because at like I just had my experience as his basketball mom to look back on, and when
Sure.
in basketball, he was like head and shoulders taller than all the other kids, and like 20, 30 pounds heavier. So we always played him up. He never played in his age group, and I would always tell him, like you gotta be gentle. If you see yourself falling down, do a quick scan and make sure there's no other kids underneath you, because I didn't want like other parents to come up to us and want to fight us because like, oh, your child hurt my child. So everything I was telling him about basketball, like be gentle, like soft hands. And then he started football, and then Coach Bird would say the opposite. He was like, no, go out there and kill those, do this, all these crazy stuff. And so I was kind of nervous, but when I saw that he was still like the biggest kid out there, so I was like, okay, yeah, I think he can hold his own. And he doesn't like to talk about this, but his very first high school game, I think it was like a scrimmage, he got ejected from the game before my
Oh,
husband and I
Yes.
could even make it to the field. um, the athletic trainer was just like texting us, and he's like, "Oh no, Anthony got into a confrontation in the middle of the game," and I think like he was so heated, he didn't know that it was like the ref that was trying to get in between, and I think he put his hands on the ref like unintentionally, and so they kicked him out of the game. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, like we got to have a talk with this kid, like he can't go in there all hot headed." But it was a transition at first, but after a while, after watching the games and just seeing how very knowledgeable Coach Bird was in teaching him the right way to play.
Hmm.
Um, my anxiety just kind of like, eased through as the season went on.
Awesome.
now
Awesome.
was
Yeah,
was
no, it shines
Bird
through.
was now he was your coach at White Oak, right? At White Oak.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
saw a quote from him talking about you. Talked about you being a leader. Talked about your work ethic being second to none. Says you give your best every day, and that's something you talk about trying to transition from basketball to the defensive line to the offensive line and trying to grasp that and understand that. Look, that's something that you can be taught, right? It's hard to be taught leadership. It's hard to be taught work ethic. So when I read a quote like that from your high school coach, I love it. But when he calls you a leader, like how do you embrace that role? What do you bring to the table from leadership qualities?
Honestly, I'd say like it's like little things like for my teammates, like in the locker room, instead of like there'll be trash on the ground, and instead of telling someone else to do it, I would just pick it up and then be like, "Hey guys, like next time you see trash on the ground, let's just pick it up," or like little things like that. Or if coach is trying to talk and there's still some guys talking in the background, I'll just say, "Hey, yo, coach is talking. Let's keep it down." Not really trying to power trip anybody, but just keeping it cool with people and just letting them know straight up, like, "Hey, we're here to do business. Like this is a team thing. I love y'all boys and let's go win," like something like that. That's kind of how I built like really good relationships with my teammates over there, because they kind of understood that like the person I wasn't like anything like cocky or anything. I was just there to have fun with them, do good in the game, win together. Like it was just all family over there. So I feel like that's what coach was hitting on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, transitioning from basketball to football, what would you say what are some of the differences that stand out to you? What you know, what kind of was that thing for football that made you think, okay, yeah, I'm doing good at it and all that kind of thing, but I want to take this to the next level and be something I strive to, possibly even make it a career one day.
Mhm. I'd say like there's a lot to learn. Like for me, I really like that. Like especially when I switch over to offense, there's a lot to learn. Like for me,
Hmm.
like even now, like I'm getting better, but still got a lot to learn. So like just me like learning something new every day was super fun. Like just going out to practice, like coach, because like we ran the ball a lot. So he was trying to teach me like when you get to the college level, they're gonna pass the ball a lot too. So you got to learn the right footwork, the different sets and the angles you need to take. So he was just teaching me like all these different things, and for me it was like really fun because I was learning something every day.
I like it. I
Awesome.
want to transition into a little bit about recruiting. I especially want to get Mom's opinion on some of this stuff. Then we got some fun questions we're going to ask. We got some stuff to dig into, and I'm excited to do it. Let me catch up with the chat here. Dave Morrison for 2 says, welcome to Rocky Top family. GBO, shout out Dave. We appreciate it. Christopher Welch drops a 20 spot. That's orange. See, we got a thing around here. We all love the color orange. And if you drop a super chat that's orange, we got to listen to Pat McAfee, so that's what we're going to do.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
It never gets old. Christopher says 20 years plus in the military. Shout out to Dad. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS and Vol Nation family. Go Vols. Shout out Christopher. We appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the love. All right, let's change gears here. Let's switch to a little bit of recruiting. You dropped your top 6 back on the 21st. Tennessee, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Kansas State, Oregon State, and Missouri. A lot of buzz around Oklahoma, Tennessee. Mom, I want to hear from you because it's 2024. It's not 1993 anymore. You don't walk in and they sell you on playing time and championships and culture. Everybody and their brother thinks it's all about money. That's it. It's NIL. That's all anybody cares about, right? And I feel like I say every single day I try to tell somebody there's way more to recruiting than money. Is it a factor? Sure, but it's about relationships. It's about development. And as a father, that's the conversation I have with my wife. I'm like, if we were in these, the parents' shoes, we're entrusting our child with these men to develop them as men, not football players, men. So talk about it from a mom's perspective, going on these visits, taking these trips, meeting these coaches, all the phone calls. What were you looking for on these trips and visits?
So to start, like at the beginning of this journey, we sat down as a family, because this is like waters we've never swam in that we're about to navigate. And we were just so new to everything. So my husband and I did a lot of research. We watched a lot of YouTube videos on other families going on their visits. And the first thing we established, like from day one, before we even scheduled any visits, was that NIL would not be a deal breaker or maker when it comes to our son, because we did not want that to be used as a recruitment tactic for him. And we told him, if you follow the money now, in a year, you're going to jump in the transfer portal because you're not going to be happy with the coaching staff, with the way they coach you, or any of that. So it was really the connection that we were looking for and the bond on these visits. I observed him when he was with the other players. I observed how the O-line coaches talked with him, how the head coaches talked with him, and just kind of like going off his body language and seeing like just how comfortable he is in this environment. So that's kind of like how we started the OVs. At first, there was like all these schools that wanted him to come and visit them. And I just like, with the way our life is, I was like, there's absolutely no way we can go to all these schools. I said, narrow it down, pick your top 6, top 8, and those are the schools that we will focus on. So that's kind of how it is, like how we do things in our household. We always sit down as a family and we talk about everything. We put everything on the table. Anthony is young. He's very mature for his age, but he is young. So Dad and I are involved a lot. Before he makes any decisions, he does confer with us, and we help him, kind of break down all the information and get a better understanding before he does say yes or no to anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just follow up. Obviously, spending some time homeschooled, that's usually a sign to me that you're, extremely concerned about education and see the value of that and take onus on that.
Yes.
Is and I know Oklahoma went deep into the recruitment too, but how important was that education side that you felt good that he'd be taken care of from that aspect? And yeah, maybe talk about that a little bit and what
Yeah,
kind of
that was
program
very
maybe you're interested in.
that
Yeah.
was very important because a lot of people ask him about NFL, but to us, NFL is the backup plan.
Yep.
Like his plan A is his education and landing a good job with the degree he gets with this scholarship opportunity that for Tennessee. So that was a big part of almost all the schools when we went on our visits. They did a academic presentation and all the schools were amazing. They all had a great academic program. Of course, I asked a lot of questions about it. I was always curious on because I hear a lot of like kids, declaring for the draft early and all of that. So one school, when they told me that they had a program where if they leave early before getting their degree, they can come back. And once they're done with their professional career, they can come back and finish their degree. That was a huge plus for me. So all the schools that we went to, I asked about that if they all had a similar program. But yes, education was very important. He kind of knew already before we started the visits what field he wanted to study. And so a lot of the visits were kind of tailored to that. Like we met with the counselors that fall within the specific field that he wants to go into. So that part of the OVs were very good and very detailed.
Now let's
Awesome.
talk a little football, Anthony. Let's talk. We took the mature, responsible adult pathway there. Now let's talk a little ball because we like to talk a little ball around here too. So when you took the visits and you're sitting in meetings with Coach Ellerby, you're sitting with Coach Heupel. What do you like about this Tennessee football program, this Tennessee offense? What you're going to be doing under Glenn Ellerby?
hmm I like everything. The way he coaches too. I feel like I'm comfortable under that. Like, I mean, just talking to him on the phone before I even got up there, it was just natural. Like, what's up, coach? He's like, hey man, what you eating? Like, just little things like that. Not like, hey, any other schools hit you up or this and that. It was just a lot of like, hey, what you doing today? What's your plan? And it wasn't just Coach Ellerby that I talked to on the phone. I'll talk to Coach Heupel. Like, I had a connection with everybody. So once I actually got up to my junior day visit, my first time being up there, uh, it just felt like family already. Like I knew these guys, like just putting a face to the voice pretty much. Um, but seeing the way that the offense is and the way they run it, like the quick tempo and everything, Coach Heiser kind of broke it down for me and how it works. Like George McIntyre coming in too, like seeing like whoever else they're recruiting, like knowing who's coming in with my class too. It was a big thing too. So when I was talking to Coach Ellerby about how he can develop me as a player, person, like everything, he pretty much had it all. He's also a laid back coach too. Like even just someone messes up, he'll just be like, "Hey, you need to fix this." There's not really like, "Oh man, what are you doing?" Like, get out of here. Why are you even here? Just chill. His players, I could see that they learn a lot under him too, just the way he coaches. And Coach Heupel too, he's just super chill. Like he kept it real. He's a down to earth guy. Um, he has a lot of love for our family too, and he showed that too with my little brother. So that meant a lot.
Yeah.
I do not throw anybody under the bus. Don't name name. It's just from a like look, we're just two diehard Tennessee fans. Two guys that met each other because of a YouTube channel on opposite ends of the country. And we're like brothers. We get on here all the time and talk football. We're fans. That's it. We're not media. We don't have inside access or any of this stuff. But something we hear on the regular in talking to recruits. And I saw an interview with Jermod McCoy, who's transferring in the transfer portal, talking about hype. Coach Heupel just sitting down with him. And he's like, I didn't realize this was the head coach because he was so laid back and chill. And so, you talk about these phone calls, these recruiting phone calls, and it's not, hey, who did you talk to today? Or you need to lock in your commitment now. Like they seem authentic and genuine. And again, this is a fan's perspective from the outside looking in. Is that different from what you experience at other schools? Like, is that unique to see a coaching staff that just seems so genuine and authentic and laid back and relaxed?
Honestly, yeah, yeah, it is. Like just on the phone with them, they were just asking. It was like talking to my uncle, really, or like my older brother. Like it was just talk to them about, hey man, what you got planned today, or anything like. It's just genuine talks, not really a lot of recruiting talk. When it came to talking with them, it was just all about life.
Mm,
And I will
mm,
say, what really stood out about the OV with Tennessee is, because he has a younger brother who is autistic, and he has a hard time when we pull him out of his routine, and having
mm,
him come on these OVs is not part of his routine. So in the beginning, it was just supposed to be me and Anthony for the OV, and Coach Max and the other coaches called, and they said, this is a family event. We want the whole family here. We want to show the whole family what we can offer Anthony. And then from there, I kind of like, okay, but I have like these concerns with Troy. And I was completely blown away because like first I asked, they had us like initially like, this very nice hotel, but there's no pool. And my son loves to swim. So I was like, is there any way we can get a hotel with a pool? And then they called us back later. I'm like, okay, we found a hotel. It's not as swanky as the first one, but it does have a pool. And I'm like, okay, that's all that matters to us. There's a pool. So and then they were gonna fly us out there, but then my son doesn't do good on airplanes. So I was like,
mm.
they're originally gonna send like a Sprinter van out all the way out here to Oklahoma to
Oh,
get us,
wow.
and bring us to Tennessee and back. And I was like, no. We're used to traveling. We can drive ourselves. We can drive ourselves there. So like just everything that I have brought up, they were ready to accommodate and do what they can to help us because that they really wanted all of us as a family out there. So, I told my husband, I was like, okay, like I can really see that they're really putting effort and we're gonna match their effort. So we are all gonna go. And out of all the OVs that we've been on, and I'll be very honest, Coach Heupel was probably the only head coach who was the most involved. He was there for the dinner. He was there for the breakfast. He was there for the lunch. He was shooting hoops with the boys. Like, like he was so involved. And then I was like, okay, these coaches, they tell me, my son is a priority. They want him here. They need him there as part of the program. But for me, Tennessee was the one where they really backed up their words with their actions. And I had posted on my Facebook one time, and I kind of got all my family and friends in tears because at the Tennessee visit was the first time my husband and I were able to do any of the tours together, because one of us is always with Troy, because it's hard to trust other people with him. But Tennessee, again, they took care of that. They had like a little sensory room for him. They had people come in and help us with him, and they were able to stay with Troy, and then they were texting us on the regular, just like ensuring us that he's doing good, he's happy, he's having fun, he's not having a meltdown. So that visit was just amazing. It checked off all my boxes. There's just after that, like all the other visits was just, how does this visit live up to Tennessee, basically.
Mm.
So it was amazing.
I'm totally
Yeah.
going to clip that, and I'm going to use that as a recruiting pitch from now on. I
Right,
appreciate
I'm
that.
told. Yeah.
That's real life. I appreciate you sharing that on the channel. That's good stuff. Go ahead, Coach. If you got one more to fire off, and then we're going to get into some rapid fire, quick questions for Anthony. We're going to put him on the spot.
Yeah, it's always my last question before we kind of go into the little rapid fire fun stuff. But do you have pregame ritual? Like, is there a certain soundtrack you listen to, certain music? Are you the quiet type? Do you take a nap? I've seen it all around football. So what's your pregame ritual?
I wouldn't say. I mean, really, I just chill before the game. There's some dudes that they play whatever music. I let them play. I don't really get the aux or anything. I listen to
Yeah.
reggae before the game, like just something
There you
chill.
go.
I'll usually just sit in my locker and just try and like manifest what I'm about to do in the game and try and vision what good plays I can make in the game. But that's really all I do before the game. I just listen to some music. Sometimes I don't really take a nap because sometimes I don't feel good before when I wake up and then play. So I'll just I don't care if I'm really tired. I'll just listen to some music and then play.
There you go.
I love it. All right, we're going to hit you with some random questions. These you have no idea where this is going to go. Some will be easy, some may get a little bit more complicated. So we'll start with an easy one. Favorite thing to do away from football, whether that's TV, movies. Are you a gamer? I saw the controller. You got to be a gamer. I saw the controller.
Yeah.
What do you do away from football? What are you into?
I play some Call of Duty, Fortnite with the boys. Yeah, that's really it. Or just hoop.
Wait, you gonna opt into that EA Sports college football game next year when you're gonna have an opportunity to be on it? You better say yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, Coach.
One and then a quick follow-up. So, burgers or pizza?
Burgers.
Burgers? All right, build me a burger. What are you throwing on that burger?
Everything that comes with it. Like
all right. I see you.
Whatever it is, I just ask for everything.
All right, I got you.
We like food around here. So who has the best burger? Let's go fast food. You can't go to like a sit-down nice fast food chain burger.
In-N-Out.
Ooh. That's the oceanside love right there.
All right, you got $1 million today. I'm putting $1 million in your bank account. What are you going to buy? But there's a catch. You can't donate anything to charity. You can't give it away. You can't buy mom and dad something. You can't buy relatives something. You can't buy anything for anybody. You have to spend it selfishly. $1 million. What are you buying?
A truck. I'm gonna get a truck.
What kind of truck? Are you like a car truck guy or just give me a nice truck?
Tundra.
Okay. I would try to sell you on a Jeep. I'm a Jeep guy because a Jeep is a way of transportation, and then it becomes a toy. You take the doors off, you take the top off, now it's a toy. Now you get to enjoy it. Let me sell you on a Jeep. But if you want to buy a Tundra, you can buy a Tundra. Go ahead, Coach.
Do you have a song that will get you out on the dance floor?
I think it's J Boog. Let's do it again.
There you go. Mom knew it.
Yeah.
Mom knew it. There we go. There we go.
Oh, that's
awesome.
hilarious. Dream vacation.
Bahamas.
Have you ever been to the Bahamas, Coach?
I have. I've been to Nassau and I've been to the Grand Cayman Islands, kind of outside of it. Beautiful though, absolutely beautiful. So, I kind of got off track there in my own head for a second, but do you have a favorite food from Saipan?
Oh yeah, chicken Kelaguen.
Okay. All right. Describe that. To someone who doesn't know what that dish is. What's it like? Is it like spicy or is it like what's it like?
It's kind of spicy. You make it. What is it?
So it's like you can make it 2 different ways with like rotisserie chicken, or back home in the islands we make it with barbecue chicken. You just kind of cut it up and then you add like lemon powder. If you want it spicy, you can add we call it doni, like hot pepper. We can add it to it, and then some green onions, and then we eat it with this. What is it called? It's called like titizas. It's like a little, almost like a pastry, but not really sweet.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like you almost like a naan bread, I guess. Like you wrap it.
Okay.
And then that's how you eat it. But it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, some barbecue lemon chicken and a wrap.
You're getting exposed in the chat
right now.
You're getting exposed in the chat. You're getting called out. Who's Lolly's wondering about?
That's his godfather.
Okay. Yeah, they're watching. They're exposing you in the chat.
Korea tacos are amazing.
They make the best video tacos. Yes.
All right, let's get a little bit more serious. Hero. Who's your hero?
My dad.
Why?
Just though, ever since we were young, his leadership, just seeing the way he carries himself. That's really that's who I want to be.
I love it. I had Braylon Staley on. We had him on, interviewed him after his commitment, and he said the same thing. And I interacted with his dad the same way I interacted with your dad. And something that I love to see is that relationship, that bond. But also what I can see when I talk to your dad is the same thing I saw when I talked to the pride that your dad has in you. And I love it, man, because we talk about family all the time on this channel, and now you're part of the Big Orange family. But I love it, man. I love it when your dad said, hey, can his mom come on? Of course. And the chat's loving it. They're eating it up. Now the pressure's on me and Coach Jay. We got to get the family on every time. You guys have upped the ante. You've upped the ante. All right, one last one, Coach Jay. Send them out the door.
Yeah, you're really close to your family. What do you think is going to be the hardest part about spending time away from them in college?
Definitely not being able to do our night walks. We go on walks like every night with my little brother, but yeah, it'll be tough. But we're strong. I know we'll be good. We'll be good.
There you go. Yeah, you'll be good. We got FaceTime nowadays. We got
Oh yeah,
we got cameras on
Got
phones. We're
FaceTime.
good. You'll be fine.
Well, I love it, man. I appreciate both of you guys for coming on the channel,
Yeah.
hanging out. I appreciate Mom for being real. Like that story you shared, that's personal. That's real life. So you sharing it here with this community, we're grateful for that. Anthony, we are glad. We are happy to have you as part of this family. If there's anything that I can do or Coach Jay can do or you need something from us, don't ever hesitate to reach out. We're here to put a spotlight on you guys, right? You're part of the family now. We want all the best for you in your career at Tennessee and beyond that. So if you need anything, you hit us up. Everybody in the chat, go give them a follow on Twitter. I put it in the chat earlier. I'll put it in the chat again right now. Go show him some love on Twitter. Give him a follow. Anything you want to say to Vol Nation on the way out the door. I'll let Mom go first. And then, Anthony, you can follow it up, and we'll get you out of here.
Oh, I just want to thank everyone for the overwhelming reaction that we got. You know, I'm just to see that my son is so already accepted, and so much love is being shown at him and at us as a family. It's been an amazing. It's been a long journey, amazing journey, and the end was just like the best pinnacle that I could have asked for. So yeah, we're just really looking forward to everything that the Vol Nation has.
All right, Anthony, tie a big fat bow on it. Say something to Vol Nation.
I just want to appreciate everybody. Appreciate all you guys accepting me and my family. I love y'all and GBO.
Yep.
GBO, appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Too.
All right, guys, we're going to continue rolling on. We're going to talk a little recruiting. The Vols have a big weekend coming up. 865 Live. The guest list is impressive. So I'm excited to jump into that, dive into that. But before we do that, couple of plugs and chills. If you've not smashed the thumbs up, what are you waiting for? Hit that thumbs up. It's quick, free, easy. It helps the channel. I would appreciate it. Also share it out, man. Let people know we're live. I think we got to put some eyes on this interview on the rewatch. So go retweet it. Go tweet this link out. Go post it on Facebook and say, you want to see what Josh Heupel's all about. You want to see what Glenn Ellaby's all about. You want to see what Tennessee football is all about. Go give this interview a watch. I would love nothing more if somebody clipped that little story and posted it on Twitter and tagged me and Coach Jay. Tag all of us. We'll retweet that thing. I think people need to see that. I think people need to see that it's authentic and that it's genuine. So share this thing out. We would appreciate it. You can go check out some Talkin VAWLS merch. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We got Knoxville, Tennessee themed checkerboard merch. We got The Chosen One. I don't know if you all know who The Chosen One is. We've got Cult of 8. I see a theme here. Talkin VAWLS letter shirt, Cult member like Coach Jay's wearing right now. All of it is there, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link to that's in the description. Also, shout out to you members. If you've got a power T beside your name in the chat, I am grateful. You give me the opportunity to do this full time. Could not survive the off season without you guys. You want to support the channel. You like the videos, the live streams, the community aspect, whatever it is you like about this channel. You want more interviews like that? Keep supporting the show. Hit that join button. You can do it for as little as $1 a month. That's it. That's it. No more plugs and chills. One pitch, one plug, one shill per show. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5. I don't know. Coach Rice, what do you think about that story, bro? About that story from Mom.
Dude.
That be chills, man. It tells you what type of program and what type of man Coach Heupel is, and what family means to him, and our the whole culture of Tennessee football. It's not really, you can call it a family. I mean, yes, they're a team, but the whole embrace of it and all of it, it's just it's heartwarming to know that it's more than football, man. It's more than football. Football is second, even though we love football. We love Tennessee football, but it's all about family, man. But making these young men into, mature, grown men and showing them, hey, family and relationships and happiness and all that comes before football. Me and Coach Jay both coach football for a living, but me and him both tell you first, families before that every day of the week. And
I love that she shut down NIL too.
Yeah,
Right.
I love it. Yeah, because in today's age, and that's just what the media pushes. I could go ahead and tell you, we get 9 out of 10 guys on here. They're going to tell you the same thing that his mom just said. Yes, NIL, that has a side part of it, but I don't even want to talk about that until I know what my relationships is with the coach and if they're going to prepare me for future. Because everybody knows the percentages. What's the percentage of college guys that go play NFL? What's the percentage of college guys that go play NBA? What's the percentage of college that goes play MLB? It's small. You're there to become men and women of the future, and what our world will be. And you will be responsible for the what the world's going to be in the future. And so having these men and women, the responsibility, the growth, the maturity, it's a very important. And come from a family like he does, that dude's already got a step in the right direction.
Yep.
He's already, and that's one thing you see a lot with these Melanesian, Polynesian, and
Micronesian.
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 I learned a new thing.
We learned it today. Me and Coach Shay learned it together just about an hour ago.
But the whole what Coach Heupel's recruiting, you see that with every guy that he's bringing in, it's culture, family first. Yes, they may throw the bag at somebody, but it's like Nico. He's getting paid, but he would trade that $8 million to go do something for his family every day of the week.
I'll tell you. It was great having Antoni's mom on there, and after getting to be around Nico's mom for a bit, very cut from the same cloth. Those two, you can just tell, man. Awesome ladies. You can see it, and dang it, I'm proud of this coaching staff right now after that story, man. I'm so proud of that coaching staff, the way they handled that. That's awesome, man. Putting family first. Football is family. We always talk about it, right? So whenever you can put that there, that's awesome. Great kid, man. Loves to learn.
And those are the type of guys that me and Coach Jay both tell you, and I harp on it all the time. Those are the type of guys we want on our football team. Those are the will run through a wall for your brother.
But that's an ongoing theme, right? It's every guy, and I know there's way more than what we've had on this channel, but every guy that we bring on this channel, it's the same story. And that's why I asked the question I asked about, is this unique? Is this different? And, I tried to warn him, don't bury anybody, don't throw somebody under the bus. But he said it was unique. We're living in a day and age where Kirby Smart tries to twist your arm, tries to stronghold you into committing. Dabo Swinney wants you to commit and not take any more visits. Josh Heupel is asking you what you're eating and how your day was. That's a different type of man. But then again, to go above and beyond, and you're not hearing that story. The media's not reporting about that. Nobody's talking about that. That story came out firsthand right here on this channel. It's going out. We have to get eyes on that story. Josh Heupel deserves to be recognized for that story. So we're going to try to do that. Carson drops a $5 super chat. We appreciate it, brother. What's up from the Gulf of Mexico? Nice random vacation. Well, I love you, Carson, and I hate you at the same time. Yeah, enjoy your vacation. Thanks for dropping a $5 super chat to rub it in. We appreciate it. Shout out, Carson. It's good to see you in the chat, my friend. All right, let's talk a little recruiting. I had it. It's in the notes. It's in the notes. Coach Rice wants to have a come to Jesus meeting. He wants to yell and scream and cuss. He can't do that. Nope, not now. The mic has been taken away from him. The mic has been taken away from him after that.
Let me say one thing. And it's not nothing negative. Coach Jay took me off the pedestal the other day and said, got me to calm down. And then the last few days, David Sanders does his thing. We think Jamie French is coming into town. We got Isaiah Gibson coming into town.
He's not coming. That tweet got deleted. He's taking the official.
Wait,
he's still taking the official. He's still got a shot. Yes, yes.
Wait, so there's progress being made where forever, it was so quiet. You had guys trending away from us. It's a never ending thing recruiting is. It's just like the transfer portal. It never ends. It's a constant flow of motion.
I try to tell you that every single day, right here on this channel. I get on here and I tell y'all to calm down and relax.
I'm a high, I'm a low guy. I'm a high, I'm a low guy. You know me, buddy.
That's okay though. I'm the same way, but you got to mask it. You got to disguise it, and you got to come out here and say everything's fine until it's not, and then everybody's going to yell at you. But we're going to talk about 865 because look, I'm going to call a spade a spade. You better land David Sanders. We're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Bleed Orange for $20. Appreciate the super chat. That ain't cheap. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Bleed Orange for 20 says, what's up, Talkin VAWLS fam? Awesome stuff right there. Big Aunt and Mom, epic. Love to hear about the family atmosphere our coaches are building. Mom's story about brought me to tears. GBO. Me too, man. That was emotional, and I'm grateful that she shared that with us. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to share it. Thank you, Bleed Orange, for the super chat. We appreciate that. I saw where Austin Price said that Anthony's dad got a little emotional inside the stadium on their visit, and I wonder if that was why. I wonder if it was Heupel spending time with the son.
I'll tell you what, and I know, we'll probably clip it and put some light on it, but I promise you, Heupel ain't looking for light. Me and Miss J had the privilege of taking my niece, who's autistic, to Disneyland last time she was out here, and she lives in Missouri. And I'll tell you what, man, just being able to hang out with her and see her light up like that at a place like that, you didn't need any light. That was all the reward you need. So being able to take care of family and make someone feel welcome and good and bring some to light someone's life, that's all you need, man. That's awesome stuff.
And it's authentic, right? It's authentic. Shout out to Dave Morrison also for being a member for 11 months. We appreciate that support. You guys want to show support, hit that join button. We would appreciate it. Shout out, Dave. We appreciate you. Let's jump in it. Let's talk a little 865 live. Coach Jay, man, I've been busy. I've been grinding out the videos, David Sanders videos, Isaiah Gibson videos. But 865 live this weekend, all the heavy hitters are starting to roll into town. You're seeing it on Twitter. By the way, one of those guys that will be in town is Tennessee commit Justin Baker. Mark your calendars next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Justin Baker is going to come on here and talk a little Tennessee football with us. That'll be a fun one. And hopefully we got some good news coming out of 865 Live, and we kind of just recreate this show. We'll interview Justin Baker, and then we'll get on here and talk a little recruiting after. But Coach Jay, you see this list. Obviously, David Sanders right up there at the top. How about GMAC? GMAC leaving Alabama, where he's training, to jump on a plane because this weekend is so important. Jamie French, Shady Hayward. I know. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this just for Coach Jay.
Like, it's kind of a tie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you hit somebody, like the feeling of knowing you hit them in front of their family, and then you just lay them out, you just be like, "Oh yeah."
I was going to ask you to pick somebody, Coach Jay, and roll with it. Are you just going to roll with Shady Hayward now? Is that
that's who I'm rolling with, man. All I'm saying is these kids better commit, or they're going to get hit in front of their families at this event. That's all I'm saying, man. Shady going to lay it on them. No, that's an awesome clip, man, and I'm super excited about all these kids. I'm always excited about DBs whenever they're there. Old Onus One Kenobi is what I'm going to call him if he's a volunteer. So I like that kid. Obviously, I know we all want to pull in that 5-star wide receiver. And quite frankly, after Nico puts on a show this year and GMAC sitting right there, man, I'm going to stand by it. I think we pull in a 5-star wide receiver. Hopefully. Yep. I think we're going to pull one of those in. Obviously, David Sanders being the crown jewel of this class that everyone's focused on. But after pulling in Big Ant, I like where we are with Jalen Matthews. We can see this offensive line being formed here. So let's put that top hat on it and call it a day and continue moving on, continue growing this thing and full speed ahead.
I said in my video this morning talking about David Sanders. He's huge, man. The kid was here back-to-back weekends, during the spring. Now he's coming back again for the 865 Live event. He's going to be at the On 3 event in Nashville with George. So him and George are going to be together for about a week. So they're spending a lot of time together. People want to say it's Ohio State, it's Clemson, it's Georgia, Tennessee is the constant. Tennessee is who I think the team to beat is in this recruitment. But something, Coach Rice, that I said in the video this morning, I feel like as a fan base, and I'm including myself in this, I'm going to be just like you. I'm going to be an emotional wreck. I think the success or failure of this class depends on whether or not Tennessee lands David Sanders.
Yep. I agree 100%. I think as far as your most important position other than quarterback is the tackle position on the offensive line. You land the top guy in the class just to springboard off of what we did last class with Big Bennett Warren and Max Anderson and William Sarah White and all them. And now you bring in Big Ant, Jalen Matthews, hopefully, and David Sanders. Think about that, combining 2 consecutive elite offensive line classes.
And you know what? You have to include Lance Hurd in that.
Yeah,
Lance Hurd's a sophomore. He is a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. Yeah. So you think about it. That's what the success of teams and that compete for national champion, college football playoffs every year. It's won in the trenches and at the quarterback position. You say every year, defensive line, offensive line, and at the quarterback position, that's where you have to start. And when you're building a program like Josh Heupel is, landing guys like David Sanders is where it changes the whole landscape of what you're thinking your recruiting class is going to look like, what your team is going to look like. You mentioned it earlier. Lance Hurd on one side, David Sanders or Bennett Warren on the other side. Who does not, or Jalen Matthews, the list just goes on and on. You got
That's depth.
You got Sham Umarov for a couple more years. You got William Sauerwhite, Max Anderson, Vyson Lane. I'm forgetting a couple other depth. And that what have we heard the first 3 years under Josh Heupel? We'll have the starting 5 guys, and then behind them, look out.
That's all because Ellerby, he missed on those first 2 cycles. Right? That's why we're lacking that depth, and that's why I get irritated. I'm like you. Why are me and you so emotional? And we got this California kid that's so chill all the time.
Right.
He's so even keel all the time.
California kid.
Yeah, and those Tennessee boys are like emotional wrecks. But it drives me nuts when people say, "Well, we've not signed any offensive linemen." That's a lie.
Yeah,
you had 3 guys. One of those 3, Max Anderson, William Satterwhite, and Bennett Warren, one of those guys was just outside the on 300, but they were like 304, 308, somewhere around in there. But you basically got 3 top 300 guys. Top 300 linemen don't grow on trees, boys. You don't just sign 8 top 300 linemen. You got 3, and then Gage Ginther is the guy that everybody's high on.
The most underrated kid.
Tyler Kirbyson played offensive line in the SEC. I think he knows something about evaluating offensive linemen. He's higher on him than he is anybody else in that cycle. Glenn Ellerby landed some guys in this last cycle. Yes, you guys are right when you say that he missed in those first 2 cycles. That's why we are where we are with depth, like Coach Rice just said. But if you can land David Sanders, you can land, Matthews, you can land. You already got Big Ant in the boat. You got to get another guard. I don't know that Juan Gaston, Utu, whoever. We'll see who else they can add at guard. Now you got back-to-back, and you got Lance Hurd in the portal. You're starting to catch up, Coach Jay, with where Rodney Garner is on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're thickening the troops, right? And you just mentioned it. In the first 2 years of Glenn Ellerby, you think about it. We brought Larry Johnson over, right? And he's a little bit of a developmental guy. Brian Grant was there, little developmental guy, right? So you were filling in those pieces with some of those developmental guys, where now you're kind of filling in the pieces, with your Gage Ginthers, with your Bennett Warrens, with your William Satterwhites, and it's just creating that depth that we need up front. And man, we can't. I'm gonna beat it till till the dang thing's dead, man. You can't put a price on the recruitment that was done for our current offensive linemen that are staying there, because it's allowing that depth to build throughout the offensive line. So by the time they step off campus next year, Lance Hurd obviously be fully in the trenches there. Bennett Warren will have had a season. Sham, I truly believe he's going to take over that starting guard position. Will have popped in. Your Gage Ginthers will have had time. Your Satterwhites will have had time. So I think it's awesome, man. I'm super excited about all the depth. And Tennessee is just moving those chess pieces around the board just a little more swiftly now, hitting that clock on the side of the chessboard a little quicker. And sooner or later, we're going to move those pieces around and be able to start calling check, and then finally one day checkmate.
Let me catch up on a couple of super chats. There's another lineman that I want to talk about, and especially Coach Ross. I want to see how familiar you are with him. You got a little distance between you, but you're going to know who I'm talking about. Will, for $10, appreciate the super chat, brother. Love this channel. So excited for this season. How many games is everyone going to this year? I'm going to Kentucky, and one of the first games, Chattanooga or Kent State. Coach Jay, you're going to the Bama game, right?
Yeah, I'm bringing my cigar, and I'm going to be ready to smoke the dang thing after we put a whooping on them. But yeah, I will be at the Bama game still. So I'm super excited about that. And I wish I had more time to get out there for another one, but unfortunately, duty calls.
I'll tell you what, if you come up to the Boogie Castle, I'll call it a castle. It's got a dungeon in it. You might as well call it a castle. It's got a dungeon. Yeah. We're gonna smoke another cigar out by the pool.
There you go.
You and I are gonna smoke a cigar out by the pool and celebrate that victory. What about you, Coach Rice? You going to any games this year?
I haven't bought any tickets yet, but there will be definitely at least two games going to.
There you go.
At least one of the SEC games and one of the non-conference games, probably either not homecoming, one of the Kent State or one of the small games. That's what I normally do. I'll go to a SEC game, preferably one of the big ones, and then go to a little smaller game, enjoy the scenery of it a little bit more instead of being fully invested. Kentucky and all that. So,
that's what was fun for us going to homecoming. You know how long it's been since I've gone to a game and gone to the Vol Walk and walked around and saw the sights versus like if it's Alabama or Florida, I'm dialed in, zoned in, boozed up, ready to roll. It ain't about sights and scenery and family time. It's about taking care of business. Brad drops a 20 spot. That ain't cheap. That's Orange Boy. I love Orange Boys. We'll play the clip for Brad.
Rocky Top!
Brad says the mom story tells you all you need to know about Coach Heupel and this staff. GBO. We got to clip that and save it. And every time we start complaining about Heupel not going after somebody in the portal, just play that clip. Yep. I think he knows what he's doing when it comes to culture. Shout out, Brad. Appreciate the super chat, brother. All right, let's get back to the offensive line because we talked about David Sanders and Jalen Matthews, Big Ant, interior offensive lineman. You got to have another interior offensive lineman, and this is a guy that Tennessee just recently offered, and it's kind of interesting to me. I wonder if it's evaluation, right? Juan Gaston, what's he got? 72 crystal balls to Georgia. Utu, I don't know if he's a realistic option. Petty is a guy that they wanted to play on the interior, still recruiting him. I think he's still going to take his official visit, but Petty just seems like one to me that I never really talked a whole lot about because I never felt like it was going to happen. And then AP gave me that false hope when he's like, don't sleep on this one. He grew up a Tennessee fan. I'm like, okay, he wouldn't put that out there if there wasn't a shot. It just doesn't seem like Petty is a realistic option. But Nick Moore, in-state kid, Jefferson County, Dandridge, Tennessee, 4-star prospect just outside the On 300 in the industry rankings. On 3 has him in the top 250 overall. But Tennessee just recently offered him. Clemson is in this one. West Virginia is also in it. But it says, VolQuest put out an update, said Tennessee is looking for this weekend's experience to surge them to the top. Coach Rice, how familiar are you with Nick Moore? Do you know anything about him?
I know a little bit about it. I haven't, seen any extensive film on him. But I have seen some small highlights on him. It's got one of your, prototypical guard bodies. In today's game, you like the tackles who you can transfer and switch into guards from time to time.
Right.
This is your prototypical center guard body. He's quick on his feet. From the film I saw, that's one of the big pluses I saw on him. Very quick feet. Real good puller. You know how Tennessee likes to pull their guards and tackles from time to time. Guy who stays low, gets he's not the tallest guy in the world, 6'2.5", 6'3". Uses that as an advantage, and today's D linemen, you see guys that are 6'5", 6'6". Same thing vice versa with offensive line. But when you get those real strong, stocky guys that got heavy hands and quick feet, those little shorter guys can do some damage, and because they're lower, they can get that leverage and really, get in there and push them back. And I like what I have seen from him. I know the extensive list of what his offers are is not, up there. But I think there's a guy with a great senior season could really, plateau, like kaboom it. Really kind of a guy that we've seen. Arian Carter comes to mind with a guy that with a great senior season can really take off. I think he could, maybe if Tennessee could get him on the visit, have a really enjoyable time. A guy that's we've talked about it. We need at least 1 to 2 more guards in this class to go along with Big Ant. That's just as far as depth pieces and just your numbers. And I like Nick Moore. He's like I said, he's a little more prototypical guard body. I've seen a couple things recently. I know Chad Simmons even mentioned it in on 3 that O2. There's Tennessee still in there with that. I don't with what's his name? The guy that's favored is Georgia. His name leaves me all the time. I think O2 is more realistic now than him. I hate to say that because Juan Gaston's, God, just
what
big.
Is he top? He's like top 50, right? He's a stud.
He's just a stud, big, long. He's like one of those guys that they're liking him at guard, but he could, really play any of the positions other than center. I think O2 and this guy are more realistic choices to this point. Petty the same way. I think he's a little more out of reach now. If we could get him on campus with his official visit, who knows? I mean, all you gotta do is get him on campus, and just one thing click. Hey, maybe Tennessee becomes a realistic contender. But and there's another dude that's out of Middle Tennessee that I think with a strong senior season. I can't remember his name, but Chauncey Gooden. I think with a strong senior season that Tennessee may try to get back into that. I know Missouri and A&M and Arkansas are real big into that one, and Clemson. So I maybe Tennessee makes a late run at him. That's one thing that I know I'm going a little long-winded, but this will be the last thing that I've kind of been disappointed with this class a little bit. The West Tennessee guys, me being a West Tennessee guy, Coach Hype, other than Rodarius, which that's Memphis, they've kind of went away from the West Tennessee guys, which I understand. Evaluations. They're going to go they're going to target who they're going to target. But I feel like there's some real solid guys out here in West Tennessee. There's a safety out here. There's a couple offensive linemen. There's a DB defensive lineman that's a Georgia commit that's from my hometown. that I think Tennessee kind of just passed over, which I understand. You can't get everybody, and you want to target who they evaluate. So, but Nick Moore, I think, finishing it off, I think Nick Moore would be a good get, especially, as a guard, interior body that especially we need to add depth wise.
You brought up 14 points that I want to address there.
Yeah.
But talking about West Tennessee guys, I was floored that Cam Sparks is now not a take. And I was talking to Nelson, which, by the way, where is Nelson? Where is Nelson? We have the most epic interview ever, and he's not in the chat. I'm pissed at Nelson. Somebody clip that, too. Somebody clip that and tag Nelson on Twitter. Where you at, Nelson? Actually, he's probably at church. I think he's probably at church. Don't clip that. Just leave that out. Don't. Anyways, I was kind of shocked. Cam Sparks, right? Because you've been talking all these receivers and Cunningham and French and all these big-time playmakers, and then you kind of just pencil in over here. Okay, Joakim Dotson, Redarius Jackson, and Cam Sparks, the in-state guys. Those are the guys you're going to get. You got two of those guys, Redarius Jackson, and then you got Joakim Dotson in the boat. And I was talking to Nelson about it, and he was like, man, you think we're going to land one of the big ones? And that's why we're skipping over Cam Sparks. And one of the big ones is going to be in town. And Coach Rice, another point he brought up, Coach Jay, was that, you get these guys on campus and then you have a shot. And Jamie French is the guy that's going to be in town this weekend, 865 Live. He's going to be back in town for an official visit later in the summer. A dude that's got a great relationship with George, just like David Sanders. George is recruiting you to play with George, not to play at Tennessee or Alabama or Georgia. He's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. He was committed to Alabama. Nick Saban can't handle NIL, so he retires. But it's a big one. One time he was trending to Ohio State. Now there's a lot of buzz about Texas. There was a top 3 at one point that Tennessee was in. It was, I think, Tennessee, Ohio State, and maybe Texas. And then Chad Simmons tweets out just recently and says Texas is the team to beat. LSU and Miami are 2 and 3. Austin Price put out an update, said Texas is the team to beat. There's probably a couple of teams in front of Tennessee, but Tennessee has an opportunity to shoot their shot this weekend. For me, the clips I see on Twitter, the highlights I see on Twitter, Jamie French is my Mike Matthews for the class of 25. This is the dude that I want. Does Tennessee have a shot? What do you think, Coach Jay, about Jamie French's game? And then do you think Tennessee has a shot to move the needle a little bit this weekend?
Yeah, sure. I think they got a great shot to move the needle this weekend. You see the talent that's there, and obviously we just heard of some of the stuff that goes on at these visits, right? And the exposure they're getting from the coaches. So yeah, I certainly think we have a shot with him. And if it's me, and I won't throw too much shade, but there's no comparison in the coaching staffs between Texas and Tennessee. And I don't mean that Sark's not a good coach, but if you're looking for that family atmosphere and to truly trust your kid with someone, to me, there's no choice on which head coach I'm going with. But I do like his game a lot. Good looking kid, runs really sharp routes, a really good head on his shoulders, has a lot of moves in his pocket. Got all the hezzy cross, the hezzy fade, all those little slick tricks in the old tool bag there for Mr. Jamie French. Great hands, can get up and pull the ball in, even though he's only 6'1". So great looking kid. And I do think that Heupel believes that they can land a 5-star kid this season. I truly do believe that. I've been bringing it up for a long time. I don't necessarily know who it is, but I do believe we'll get it. And we've got a great chance to elevate that possibility this weekend. I know a lot of kids came out really high after our event last year, and I expect the same thing to happen this season. I really do.
It's a huge weekend because so many kids take unofficial visits during the spring, right? Spring camp, spring practice, scrimmages, all that type of stuff. And then Tennessee has this 865 Live event, and it's like that one little window of opportunity to get guys back on campus before you go into the officials. So it's huge to have David Sanders here. It's huge to have Jamie French here. Shady Hayward, a guy that Tennessee's not looking to move the needle on. They're looking to just blow everybody else's doors off. He's a dude that has said multiple times that Tennessee's the team to beat. Man, there was a quote. Oh, I got it right here in my notes. This quote, I love it. Shady Hayward, quote recently, I think my future is going to be bright and orange. Coaches that stay on you and treat you like family. That's a reoccurring theme.
Yep.
Wayne's in the house. What is up, Wayne? It's good to see you in the chat, my friend. Says, I need a pat for my 10 and my 10 requests from last night's request after it was shut down. Please go Vols. Did I miss a song request? I played songs for
they were going crazy
well into the night after I went off air. I put up a screensaver and I just played music all night long. But Wayne would never tell a lie. Wayne is family, and family don't lie. So we're going to play the clip for Wayne.
Rocky Top!
Shout out, Wayne. It's always good to see you in the chat, my friend. So I hope you enjoyed that Pat McAfee clip. We're about to wrap the show up. Let's go around the table. Coach Rice, 865 Live. It's Monday morning. You woke up. It's Memorial Day. I don't know. Maybe you'll crack yourself a cold beer at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Golfer.
So maybe you'll crack yourself a cold beer at 9 o'clock in the morning. You're going to go out there and it's one of those, it's like, I'm taking it serious today. First hole, double bogey. Second hole,
it's
give me a beer.
4-man scramble, so.
Okay, so just crack the beer in the parking lot.
Just crack the beer, just have fun, man.
There's nothing better than playing as a scramble and hitting first.
Yeah.
You're so free and loose and relaxed and can just swing. Whereas you're that number 4 dude.
You got all the pressure on.
It's awful. It's awful. That's why I'm usually the 3 spot. I'm usually the 3 spot. So I put all the pressure on my buddy. Anyway, you wake up Monday morning. 865 Live was a success because you read what? You read what on Monday morning?
David Sanders is nearing a commitment. Nearing a commitment. And we're trending in the right direction for Jamie French. Trending in the right direction. Not meaning we're the leader. We're just trending in the right direction.
You set yourself up. You move the needle to go close the door
on the
officials.
Yeah.
Are they visiting? David Sanders is on the 14th. Somebody else was on the 14th. Isaiah Gibson was the 14th. Yeah, yeah, he was the 14th too. What about you, Coach Jay? You wake up Monday morning. What do you want to read in the headlines that makes you think 865 Live was a success?
I mean, yeah, you want to hear that, they had a great time on their visit and Tennessee knocked it out of the park. But I also want to hear that French, Sanders, and George McIntyre hit it off, right? And that George was selling them on that dream of pulling in a championship together. I know he's been pushing David towards that. I've heard him talk about it a lot. But to be able to suck, French in there and build that core of kids that feel like they can step into a program and take it to the next level is what I'd like to hear. And then, just continue to build it and pull them in the boat. And hopefully get them close to a commitment. But like I've been saying, guys, be patient. There's a long way to go, a long, long way to go. I know it's a long summer. I know we didn't get it today, but I'm going to harp on it as an old linebacker coach. We got like 7 linebackers visiting this summer too. And I'm excited about that as well. So we'll keep swinging at these linebackers, the Ty Jacksons, the Kamari Archie, the Daryl Duke Johnsons, the Abdul Sanders, Eric Winters. There's loaded talent in this class, and we're going to keep popping at them. Your Charles Houses, all these guys. We have a chance with all of them. And the thing that I like a lot is a lot of these commitments are going to bleed into the season. I keep saying it. I think Tennessee just crushes it this year on the football field. It's going to help them a whole lot on the recruiting side. But for now, I want to see that dream sold. I want to see kids buying in, liking each other, wanting to play together, and moving Tennessee maybe into the top 3, top 2. Maybe you don't get them, close to commitment, but maybe you get David Sanders to cut someone out of that list, right? Maybe you get someone to cut down. Maybe you get French, to pull. Maybe not Texas, but a Clemson off that list or something like that, or Bama off that list for good. So it'd be good to see if we can get someone to narrow it down a little bit after this visit.
Dude, Tennessee has a shot at Duke Johnson. They got a shot. If you find a way to flip him and get Ty Jackson, that linebacker room, guess what?
Dude,
Next year, we're not going to be saying best defensive line in the country. We'll be saying best linebacker room in the country. If you flip Duke Johnson and you get Ty Jackson, that sign me up. Let's
go along with T-Lander, Carter, Spillman, and Burns, and all of them.
Nobody's even talking about Jalen Smith because of everybody else that's in the room.
Yeah,
it's loaded, man. It is absolutely stacked. Let me. I was about to send us out the door, but now I want to ask another question.
Open a can of worms.
Well, I was just thinking. Michelle drops a $20 super chat. We appreciate the lurker dropping that. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
She says, best interview to date. Keep up the good work. I think we set the bar high. That one's going to be hard to beat. I think that was my favorite interview ever. I think it's my favorite interview we've ever done on the channel. Let me ask this, and this is what we'll wrap things up with, and we'll let Coach Rice go first, and we'll throw it to Coach Jay. Do you think that this is the year that we're going to learn? And look, the story we just heard, obviously, Josh Heupel gets it. He's a family guy, culture guy. Yeah. He's also paid to win football games, and he's also paid to recruit elite-level talent. And you can be the greatest man in the world. If you don't win football games, you're not going to cut it. Yeah, is this the year that we learn whether Josh Heupel is elite? 2024 on the field and the class of 25 on the recruiting trail. Is this, when push comes to shove, I think it's fair game. I think it's fair to start criticizing in this class of 25, 100%.
Yeah, it's without a doubt fair. I mean, I think the field will take care of itself because we all three think Nico is elite, and that the time will come where we're in the college football playoff year in and year out, and I think this will just be the start of it. But the class of 25, you said it, I said it, Coach Jay agrees with it. David Sanders is the must. You land David Sanders, this class takes off. It rides into the sunset to a top 5 class. You don't land David Sanders, then you start having question marks, because I think David Sanders is that key to getting that top 5 class.
I mean, look, David Sanders is the number 2 player in the country. He's the Nico of this cycle. Yeah. And then Lance Hurd was also a 5-star. He was I think a top 15 guy in his class. You got 3 dudes that are top 15, and then George.
And then G-Mac. Yeah.
I got distracted, Coach. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's, David Sanders, Coach Rice 100% right. Let's start there. Sanders solidifies it. You get Sanders in the boat, you're going to knock a top 5 class absolutely out of the park. If not, you find yourself in a fist fight, right? You're in a fist fight to get into that top 10 class. And then you got to hope that your evaluations were a top 5 class evaluation at that point, right? Because I look at it like, if you're outside of it, your evaluations can bring you inside of the top 10, probably not in the top 5. And I think we've done that. I think we've evaluated into the top 10 every year under Heupel. But you don't want to find yourself in that fist fight. You need to find a way to land David Sanders. You got one big piece of the puzzle in GMAC, and it's not to be understated what a huge piece that is. I mean, think about what a huge piece Nico is. GMAC's a piece like that, right? So we just need to put that other out there, that queen with that king on the chessboard. You know what I'm saying? You need that other dominant piece out there. I think we could get it. So let's go, baby. Let's get it. And Nico going to take care of business, and we're going to have a fun time this season.
I'm ready to roll, man. I think we're 99 days away from football season, but guess what? We got through the dead period. May and February are the worst 2 months when you're talking college football. Yeah. May is so dead, and we're just looking ahead. But June, business is about to pick up. I said it the other day. I can scroll up to my notes. If you guys will be patient as I just randomly talk and just fill air with hot gas while I continue to scroll up and look for the names. We got a bunch coming. We got Antoni in the boat. We got Jalen Matthews, 4-star offensive tackle, set to make his decision on June the 3rd. We're going to live stream that. Charles House, you guys both mentioned him, June the 22nd. He's a 3-star defensive lineman, but guess what? Georgia would love to have Charles House. They are pushing, and they are pushing hard, but he is trending to the good guys. Georgia, Bama, Oregon, all 3 want a piece of Charles House. He wants to play for Rodney Garner. So we're going to cover that one on June the 22nd. June the 29th, 4-star tight end, Deshaun Brame, the only tight end in the entire country that Josh Heupel and this offensive staff are willing to pair with Jack Van Dorsett. They don't want anybody else, but they'll take Deshaun Brame. We'll cover that on June the 29th. July the 4th, Zion Grady, 4-star edge rusher, is coming off the board. July the 13th, Travis Smith. Could that be that other wide receiver to go along with Jamie French to give you your 4 wide receivers in this class? He is a 4-star prospect coming off the board July the 13th. We are going to be covering it hot and heavy right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Tons of recruiting coverage coming your way. Don't forget, next week, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, myself and Coach Jay will sit down and interview running back, Vol commit, Justin Baker, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Coach Rice will jump on with us and talk a little recruiting. And then Thursday night is NCAA night next week as well. Shout out to you guys for all the support last night. Absolute blast. But that is going to do it for this one. The best interview. I hope somebody's clipped it. I know Tom said his fiance was helping him. I hope it's already on Twitter, and we can all go retweet it, post it on Instagram, Facebook, MySpace. Let Tom know about it and put some Rocky Top for our cover music. Deadshot 13 becomes a member of the channel. Shout out for that. We appreciate the support. We love you guys. Thank you guys. This is a family. This is a community. You guys are what give us the opportunity to bring guys like Ant on the show. So that is going to wrap it up. For Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call